What is something that you regret doing? Waiting too long to learn how to drive. It's really best to learn when you're a stupid kid and don't conceptualize how dangerous the task of driving theoretically is. So much easier to learn anything as a kid because you don't feel like crap for being a beginner. Staying in retail for as long as I did, I didn't believe that I could work anywhere else because I lacked any skills. I finally couldn't take it anymore and quit without notice. Thankfully I not only had cheap rent, but ton money saved up. I took a few months off, felt better, challenged myself to find a non-retail position. Am making only a little more than I did before, but am so much happier and am going back to school. I have long-term plans. Fucking my ex. Me too. 0 stars. Binge eating. Not listening to my ex's family when they told me she's a pathological liar. This would also be my answer to, what's the worst scenario your penis got you into? Quote, I feel like there is a backstory here. I was a real bitch to one of my exes. He's honestly one of the best men I've ever met. I was a total drunk at the time and broke his heart. It never would have worked out with him even if I wasn't awful. But I wish I could tell him, without it being super awkward or bringing up painful memories for him, that I am so sorry for how I treated him, and that knowing him, even for that brief period of time, has helped me be a better person that I never would have gotten to be on my own. My ex was like this to me and I was the guy you described for her. What made you have a change of heart? I ask because I don't see any end in sight for how bad my ex is. She is an appalling human being. I was the same, me, underneath. But I was just drunk and hurting from a recent breakup. I told him at the time that I shouldn't be dating anyone, especially him. And he gave me the now or never ultimatum, so I was like, fuck it, what's the worst that could happen? He wanted healthy debate and conversation. Drinking and moody me wanted to turn everything into a fight. I cried over everything. Looking back at it, dealing with me must have been exhausting and I honestly don't know why he put up with me. I left him because I knew it felt like I was just being this big shitty drain on his life. I got sober and just really started to wish I had been sober before breaking up with Hi Monsieur. I was embarrassed by who I was when I drank heavily. What I did, the things I said. I had told him a version of myself that I wanted to be. And I looked at myself and realized that would never happen if I kept drinking. Even if it wouldn't have lasted, it would have been nice to have my best friend for a little longer. I have a husband and a family now, and it's not like I regret them at all. But I think about it from time to time, especially when other people are shitty to me. It's humbling to look back and go, wow, yeah, I was a piece of shit once too. To someone who didn't deserve it. Not taking the chance to do things I wanted when I was a teenager. I had every opportunity to lose my V card in school. But my late mom, rest her soul, taught me not to and had already accused me of doing so. My fear of being beaten by her or anyone else, and I had already been abused as a child, led me to fearing sex. Years later, my older sister has 2 kids and a loving boyfriend and I'm here feeling repressed. Not everyone has to have kids to be happy and someone will love you for who you are. I doused my hand in lighter fluid and lit it on fire in college. In retrospect, it was a bad idea. I'd hate to tell you this, it was a bad idea long before retrospect. Not keeping in touch with childhood friends after getting new friends. About 6th grade, I lost touch with about 4 childhood friends. Why? Because I found 2 new best friends who meant everything to me. I spent all my time with them. And over time, stopped talking to these childhood friends at all. The tables turned suddenly when both of those great friends I had left me for a new friend. I was completely alone and didn't have anyone to be friends with. Years later, I don't have any contact information. This is something I regret quite a lot. I can't speak for your situation, but I think you probably think that you'd still be friends with your old friends if you had stayed in contact with them. Monsieur, that isn't very likely. If it makes you feel better. People change a lot in that time. being a crappy pet owner when I was younger. I didn't have bad intentions or abuse my pets, but I got them without knowing how to properly care for them, and it led to unnecessary suffering. I deeply regret not understanding the needs of these living, feeling beings before adopting, coming out to my teachers and asking them to call me by my preferred name. I basically got disowned by my mom when she found out. Hey, for what it's worth, it takes a lot of guts to come out like that, especially when you're asking authority figures to change how they address you. Please don't ever regret the action, you absolute badass. Not taking the chance with my best friend when I should have. Edit grammar. Not staying in college for engineering. It was the mid-90s. College was cheap, and I seriously think I could have done some great stuff. I loved the challenge of designing things, but my knowledge and access to tools and materials are limited. Not learning a music instrument, sad face when I was younger. You still can do it! Exclamation mark. So many regrets in life. All there is to do now is to recognize my mistakes and live a life I won't look back and cringe on. Living. You doing alright? I'm pretty sure they're not, but it could just be me. Someone dared me to put some of that orange extra strength Tiger Balm on my nutsack. I would not recommend it. Marrying a stripper in Vegas. Gotta get out of jail free card on that one though, due to some very lucky paperwork issues. I was getting bullied at school and I screamed at them because it was going on for years, and I told them, I am sick of this shit, you fucking asshole, and for like a year they thought I was gonna shoot up the school. To be honest, if I was given the choice to be bullied for years or to some assholes think I'm gonna do a school shooting, I take the shooting. Eating too many cookies. When I was in second grade, one made fun of a girl for being really short. I was tall for my age and she was 2 years older than me, but only as tall as my waist level at the time. I called on random people in her class to come see how short she was. I said, wow, how did you get so short? Pointing and laughing. She looked miserable and didn't say a word. As someone with albinism who has frequently had people ridicule me for my appearance, I should have known better. I felt awful about it the next day, but I never saw her again or got the chance to apologize. I'm 25 now and I still regret that to this day. I think most people have similar experiences as kids, teasing someone and not really realizing the harm it can do until later, or until you've experienced bullying yourself. I certainly do. At least I can't go back on time. So as an adult, I just try to be kinder to people. Not going to school. My first tattoo. It's Arabic calligraphy. I like the word. I like the personal significance. I like the cultural significance. I can read it, but the font is just so ugly. I wish I didn't go fancy with it. No calligraphy. Just the word. That would have been great 9 years ago. Nowadays laser tattoo removal work well, or you can get a cover-up. Deciding to lose 5 pounds. Now I've lost 10% of my body weight due to an anorexia relapse. I wish my clown ass didn't even do this shit. Abusing my body. Started dating a girl while having feelings for another one. Ended up hurting her, and losing a chance of having a great relationship. I will never do that again. Being with my first, and so far only, true love. He hurt me so bad that after 5 or more years later I am still struggling with depression and hate. Selling my 1911 was worth $2,400 at the time. Now it's worth $11,000. No raggarts. When my first crush hugged me for no reason and I ripped up a piece of paper she gave me and walked away, only to walk back and past her 'cause I went the wrong way. This was when I was about 10, and it's definitely one of the reasons why she didn't like me in that way. I hate younger me. I had a chance and blew it by being a huge asshole to her. I made her cry multiple times, and now I want to slap the asshole I used to be. Trying heroin when I was 15. Getting in a car that crashed. How could you have known though? You know? You couldn't, unless you were the driver. not joining the Navy when I had the chance to go in with a good rank out of high school. I was in Navy JROTC in my high school for all 4 years, and if I joined when I graduated I would be successful financially. Instead I wussed out and decided to go to Job Corps and settle for not following my dream. To be fair, you might have actually dodged a bullet with that one. How old are you now? Do you have a degree? If you are still interested in that path, it might not be too late. I regret killing that little girl in Bahrain. Knowing that she would have gone on to kill hundreds at Cambridge doesn't make it any easier. WTF. LMAO, just watched that episode the other day. Episode of what? Marrying my now ex-husband. Me and my brother and my best friend got into a stupid fight because we were all barred out, so we were saying stupid shit to my brother and he was saying stupid shit to us, and I even put his shoes in the mud. Well, then he was being dramatic and basically tried hanging himself in the side yard on this metal clothesline thing, so the neighbors called the cops and the cops took him to the hospital. Well, me and my friend decided we were going to go hang out with our other friend. After a while we went back to my house to get our IDs because we were planning on going out. When we got there we realized my brother was there and we're like, WTF, why is Josh here? Isn't supposed to be at the hospital? Well, we were still mad from earlier and I don't even know why. I don't know what we were even fighting about. That's how stupid and petty it was. He was begging us to either not go out or to let him go with us. I was like, fuck you Josh, you're not going, etc, etc. Then we left. We got home at like 2 in the morning and my friend was like, where's Josh? I was like, IDK, but he better not be in my bed. Then we went into his room to see if he was in there and he had hung himself in the bedroom closet. I can't believe how fucking stupid and mean I was, and the last thing I ever told him was fuck you. I didn't think he was really trying to do anything in the yard. We were all barred out and acting stupid. I thought he was just being dramatic or something. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why we didn't just stay when we realized he was home. He was literally begging us to stay. He was apologizing and asking us to stay. But we didn't, and now he is dead and it's completely my fault. It's the biggest regret I will ever have in my life. I was 18 and he was 26. I miss him so much. I would do anything to go back to that night. Depression is very hard to catch when you're new at life. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.